I've been asked, what are my beginning options when I start noticing that the hair is starting to bother me? Well, obviously, the more length that you have, the more separation you're going to have, because length, depending on if you have curly hair or straight hair, sometimes becomes an issue. And obviously add to that gray hair, because then when your roots grow out, if you're coloring your hair, you're going to notice the demarcation and the separation of where your hair has started to thin out. Here are some easy things that you can do. Even though I'm not a big advocate of it, you could color your scalp, and there's a ton of products out there that allow you to do that. You could go shorter, okay, and it will give you a more youthful look, with a more stylish look, especially if you're a woman like myself over 50. Very few women over 50 look really, 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 really good with really, really long hair. You have to really be able to carry it, and you have to really have spectacular hair. To have long, stringy, lifeless hair makes no sense. So that would be like the beginning part of this. This whole idea of low lights and highlights, let me tell you what my experience, especially in here, has been. When you do too much color, the hair that we already have is so very, very fine, it dries it out. And what happens is that the ends get always darker than the root. And the problem with that is that because we don't have a lot of hair, and because we color as often as we do, because a lot of women hate roots and get it done within 3 weeks, it's a double-edged sword. So I have sometimes recommended that they have something made by us that buys them a little bit more time, so that the roots don't become such an issue, because it's usually around the hairline that the gray is an issue. But low lights and highlights, you got to be really careful how often you have that done, because it is drying on the hair. The culprit, the main culprit to issues with thinning hair is when you use way too many either relaxers or straighteners on our hair, because the cuticle, meaning the hair, that the strands that exist, are already thin. You add a harsh chemical like that, you're going to thin it out even more. And now what you have is flat, broken, thin hair. Not good. And I already can tell when I'm walking, especially here in New York, how many people have had a straightener done, because, you know, unless you have it done really carefully and you have it done by the right person, and, you know, having that done by the right person is really, really important. The regrowth shows a huge difference between the rest of your hair, especially when you don't have a lot of it. Dryness for curly hair is a big issue. I know, because I have curly hair, and that's why I opted to always stay with curly look, because I wanted to do the least amount to my own hair. And those of us who have really curly hair, you know how drying it is, and it grabs color very quickly. And you want to be very aware that when you have curly hair, it is a better camouflage, because it curls up and it holds, it covers the balding area. So in the beginning, it's altering your haircut, altering your color, and possibly using a scalp crayon or powder or whatever if you're not quite ready to have a discussion with someone about additional hair. So stay tuned, because next time I'm going to talk about the difference between a weave and an extension, and the difference between stock pieces, custom pieces, and all the different hair that's out there. I will tell you that there is probably no one out there right now that's a female that has worn hair as long as I have been wearing it, and who also imports, designs, and manufactures like myself. So send your questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability, and I will always, 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 always be very candid. See you later.